Hi everybody, I'm Rusty, the producer of Space Time, and you may recognize Matt O'Dowd.
Hey guys.
And we are doing a D&D space adventure. It is, and we're throwing things at each other already, so it's already going downhill. This was made possible by our Patreon contributors, and we hit the 10,000 tier. We're very excited about it, and so we wanted to celebrate. So we're making this video, the Treasures of Trappist. And from this point, I'm going to introduce everybody, and then I'm going to hand it over to our game master. You know Matt O'Dowd, the host and physicist behind Spacetime and in front of Spacetime. And then this is Mike Petro. He's behind the scenes. He edits, he helps with the production in various degrees, and he's a very fun and entertaining individual.
Thanks, Rusty.
Also my stunt double.
And Matt's stunt
I
double.
threw your apples.
Yeah. When we did the gravity,
Forgot
which
to talk about
episode was it? No. Grayson, on the other side of Mike, does graphics for Spacetime and is a all-round master of that. Many people have complimented him on his various and numerous Spacetime videos.
Rightfully so.
Yes. Also, an experienced gamer himself, as is Matt O'Dowd and myself. And Noel, who is next. Noel Smith is an animator, a cartoonist, a graphic artist for PBS digital series, soon to be coming, but also various other enterprises. Is there anything you'd like to add to that? Did I misrepresent you in any way?
No, that sounds perfect.
Awesome. We're really glad Noelle could join us. She has a regular Pathfinder game, and she is coming to this game to support, our venture. And Vanessa Hill, many of you may recognize as the creator and host of Braincraft. I highly recommend her recent documentary, Mutant Menu. She has joined us, and despite the fact that you are not a avid gamer,
Not an avid gamer, occasional gamer.
We are very happy and excited that she was willing to join us, and she came dressed for the part. So it's pretty awesome. And then finally, our game master, Matt Stanton. Stanton is a good friend of mine and has created, written, run many games and campaigns. Most recently, Cthulhu de Mayo.
Sounds lively.
A number of others.
There was much drinking.
And and from here, I am going to just hand it over to Stanton, let him take the reins of the story, and welcome you all to the Treasures of Trappist.
Hi, everybody. So, you are all part of a crew that has been gathered together for a special project. It is almost the year 2100. I believe it's 2093, according to the little cards that some people have had. You all have come basically together for a one-way trip. There is a massive program and a massive ship that's been created, the UN 1934 Sagan, so named after Carl Sagan. What's happening on Earth is a series of disasters: famine, climate change, civil war, collapse of governments, and there's concern about the future investment of the human race. Thus, they've been brought together to create exoplanet missions to seed and terraform various other worlds. Top of the list is the planets found around the Trappist system. It's a dwarf star with, I believe, 9 planets, 3 of which, 7 planets,
Seven.
thank you. 3 of which lie in the Goldilocks habitable ring that may or may not be suitable for a colony. On board this ship are about 100 people in cryostasis. The technology is advanced far enough that you will survive the trip. The projected plan is that you leave Earth in the year 2093, spend half your time accelerating with antimatter bursts behind the ship. Then the ship rotates, adjusts its dishes, deaccelerates for half the trip. It's supposed to be about, I believe, 2130 is when it starts to deaccelerate. And then 2167 is the ship time in which you would be arriving in the Trappist system. I didn't do the math and time delineation. You guys can figure that out later. but you don't approach full C. So it's some fraction of C during the course of the trip. When you get there, you will have your choice of planets to examine, and I will pass these around the table so you can have some discussions as to which one you're going to want to have. This is a card that represents Earth. In it, you see the gravity, the mass, the atmosphere, the various factors that make up the qualities of a planet. This is sort of your benchmark for what you're going to be flying into. These are the 7 planets of the Trappist system. The whole mission is dedicated to the memory of Carl Sagan, and as such, many of the planets that were formerly just labeled Trappist B, Trappist C, Trappist D were given mission-specific little names that indicate benchmarks from Carl Sagan's life. He was
Just
born.
want to ask,
Yes.
can the viewers see over the? Thank you.
There we go.
All right, there you go. So, Brooklyn was one of the planets closest to the Trappist system. Probably not habitable. It's a little bit too close, doesn't have any atmosphere, probably doesn't have any water. But it was so named for where he was born. So you can take that, pass that around. The remaining planets that you see here, most of the remaining planets, are named after Carl Sagan's various children. So Trappist C was named for his son Jeremy. Trappist B is named for Dorian. Dorian, probably not habitable, still a little bit too close. You can look at some of the information on the card. Then we get into the Goldilocks zones. That's Nick, Alexandra, and Samuel. So these planets may be habitable depending on some other factors. These two are far better than this one. You can see it starts getting very, very cold as you get closer. Pass those along. And at the edge of this system is where Carl Sagan was buried in Ithaca, New York. So again, probably not a good consideration, but something you can kind of take a look at and make up your mind. All right. That is pre-planning for your mission. However, who are you people and how did you wind up being on this mission? So, why don't we go around the table and introduce ourselves as what characters you're going to be playing for this adventure.
Okay, so my actual name is Epsilon 829, but my friends call me Lon. I have many friends. I'm a genetically engineered hyper-intelligent clone, born at a populist eugenics cult's undersea habitats. All organic life is sacred to me. Sorry, Goliath. You often cannot relate socially with other crew, but I'm determined to fit in.
We can tell.
I'm Data.
You were homeschooled.
I was homeschooled by a cult.
That's
Yes.
right, by a cult.
My social interaction skill is +0, as you will find out.
I am Amiv Acharya. I was born on July 12, 2062 in Kochi Station on Mars. My mission sponsor is the Indo-Mars Space Agency. My background is that I'm a terraforming specialist whose family was given Martian land grants in exchange for me joining this mission. I have redundant cybernetic organs that make me extra tough. You like to joke around a lot with the Sagan crew. It's just, yeah.
Hence the fantasy role-playing party.
I have, exactly. I am the mission planet. I am the mission planetologist, and I have a number of different skills, but a 0 at brawling and blades. So that's where my weaknesses lie. Yeah, well, that's it. All right.
I'm Hano Hamata. I'm the mission engineer. I was born September 8th, 2059 in Yokohama, Japan. Mission sponsor is a long word, Sumitomo Kuidemhove, AG. Background, I'm a technology expert who signed a lifetime service contract with the largest corporation on Earth. I'm fiercely competitive and earning a place of high influence on this mission. It's very important to me. And I'm 0 with brawling and blades and with social interactions.
Oh, nice.
You can speak up about what your best qualities were.
Yeah,
Gotcha. We don't have to be so negative.
we all hate ourselves here on this spaceship.
That's why we're going.
+4 engineer and science.
Smarty pants.
I am Dr. Sunvi Silva. I was born in 2059 in Brazil. My mission sponsor is the People's Policorp of Brazil. I'm a former state science minister forced into this mission after a violent political coup back home. I always counted on my loyalty to the former regime to protect my once vast wealth and influence. But what now? You said you're the mission engineer, but I think I'm the mission engineer, and you're probably my subordinate. I've got a +4 in engineering and science, and I don't talk about my weaknesses.
Probably because you got too many.
Like a true leader.
Surprised you didn't bring up the Nazi thing.
Definitely not a Nazi.
Well said. Well said.
Definitely not,
Believable.
for sure.
Feel free
Very
to leave your
convincing.
comments in the video below.
All right, my name is Goliath G102. I am the auxiliary pilot, and I was born February 2nd, 2080 in Armstrong Colony 3, Luna. I am a cybernetic intelligence woven into a huge body of synthetic flesh. I'm more machine than human, but I'm pretty ripped. My program priorities are as follows. 1, allow no harm to come to others. 2, obey orders directly given to me. And 3, protect myself.
Solid.
My name is Dr. Del Durand, but you can just call me Doc for short. I was born in 2060 in Algeria, and my mission sponsor is the Pan-European Exchange. Very European. I'm a neurogenome designer who was found guilty of illegal bioengineering work. There's a story behind that. And sentenced to exile in space unjustly. I am charming. I am a free thinker, not bound by conventional limits. And I hate the mad scientist label put on me. I hate it. My skills are social interaction, and more so medical and biology. And my characteristics are education.
There you go.
All right.
So are we going to Space Australia?
Some of you
You're going to
Some
Space
of you are.
Australia.
Some of you
I'm
are like,
going to
I got
Space
nothing else to
Australia.
lose. I'll sign up for a lifetime in space. Others are kind of like, I guess I'm going to space.
Well, we know what the accent's going to be after we settle.
You're already about a third of the way there.
Stanton, I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Before you had created a timeline.
I have, yes.
Did you want to go through? Did you already have that in plan to go through, or was that something?
The only things that we're going to touch on were sort of the key dates of your departure.
Okay.
For the notes behind this program, there's just a little mythology backstory of what has happened between the far distant past now and getting us to this future where things are going all wrong on Earth, and we're so desperate we're building a giant. No, it's not a giant spaceship. It's like a kilometer long, I think 2 kilometers long, and launching out into space. It's a big space. It's a pretty big spaceship.
Yeah.
And launching it 39 light years away from Earth in the hopes of finding some new worlds to live on. It's an investment in the future. So just imagine that enough powerful people were desperate enough to make that kind of investment to do it. And then I think some of the donors that backed the Pantheon wound up being mentioned having key roles in the 100-year history leading up to this adventure.
All right.
So, for that.
Very cool.
For those of you that are wondering what role-playing game are we playing, it's a bit of a custom game, but it's based on the original Traveller role-playing game. These are the ancient books that sometimes people do, like 0 edition, 1st edition Traveller. They've been simplified down, so we'll go over the rules for the people at the table, but they'll kind of, it's a simple enough game to sort of pick up. You roll 2 dice, you look at the total, and you add 1 characteristic, and you add 1 skill from your character card to determine what number is the results number, and if it's this number below, this happens. If it's this number above, this happens, and we'll kind of narrate that as we go along. Gotcha. Most of the time, you can just say what your characters are doing, and we'll take that as given. You certainly don't have to roll to walk across the room, open doors. If the door is locked, maybe you have to unlock the door using your technology picks and hack into the wiring and hotwire the code lock on the door. Things like that.
I could do it, but it's beneath me.
Exactly. Sure. That's totally fair.
So.
All right. In addition to your character cards, you also had equipment cards. Everyone was familiar with their standard issue spacesuit which is called Ganymede pajamas for various reasons.
And we have an example of Ganymede pajamas at the table, don't we?
We do. This is
Oh,
the
they're
finest
quite fetching.
designs. It's form-fitting. The lines really accentuate the utility of the. Okay, so moving on. It is a advanced hostile environment spacesuit. So some of the features that you'll see on your little character cards right here is that the life support gives you 100 hours of recycled air and water, fully sealed against chemical, nuclear, biological agents, insulated for temperatures ranging from 0 degrees to 1,300 degrees Kelvin.
So it's recycled water as well as recycled air. Just so I know.
You can go. Yep, you can go to the rave and not break for the music.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Just wanted to-
It cuts down radiation exposure to about 1,000th of the local rads. Its armor value will deflect 5 points of damage if something happens, like you fall down a hill, you get shot, something like that happens. We subtract 5 points of damage per attack. The comms basically have a radio that will work up to 5 kilometers under its own transmitter. And again, if you have repeaters, pretty much unlimited. And heads-up display for data. Just kind of think the Tony Stark kind of thing you've seen in the movies. There's a scanner, which is essentially, think of it as a bit like the tricorders that you saw in Star Trek. It's got a 1 kilometer range. It detects radiation, magnetics, mineral, chemical compositions, some biological compositions, and magnetic boots because you never know when you have to walk on the outside of the ship on the hull.
That's true.
Now, that everyone has that equipment, and you're fully trained on how to use it. However, some of you also have some special equipment. Some of you have guns. So how that works, it's you pull the trigger pointed at something that you want to harm, and there you go. And cock it by pulling back. There you go.
Stop.
Exactly. All right. In which case, then we roll the dice to see if you hit the target. And if you do hit the target, depending on the range, we roll and take points off of, if it's a living target, it's got life points. If it's not, do it that way. Who has nanomeds?
I do.
All right.
We have lots of names.
Would you? Yeah, well, wow, you have a lot of
You
nanomeds.
guys know how to party.
Yeah, please.
I know.
Exactly.
These are good.
Your suit's fully sealed and you came prepared. Go ahead and open your nanomeds. Take a look at them. Now, your character points that represent your character's health. No.
Not all at once.
No.
I do have M&Ms.
There was no dosage.
Exactly. The characters have a health rating that is basically just called life points. And those life points are represented by little beads. The green beads represent flesh wounds. The red beads are going to represent more traumatic injuries. The blue beads that are found in the canisters can be used a couple different ways. When you administer to them, you would take it out of the little green thing and you'd hand them the little blue beads. And you're going to roll a medical die to see how well they were administered to the person. They don't affect everybody the same way. Some people take to them very well. Some people have a very toxic reaction to them based on your dice roll.
Okay.
When you use the
Nazis.
beads, and we're back. When you have the beads, when you have the nanomites in your system, you may use them typically one of two ways. They can count as hit points. If you take damage, you can instantly heal your hit points. If you want to augment your abilities, they can add +1 or +2 to dice rolls, depending on how well they've been administered. The problem is, once they leave your system, you suffer some pretty nasty withdrawal. And again, that will be on the medical effect card. You get one of these cards as soon as you take nanomeds, and then it tells you a little bit more information about how that plays out at the table. And then the engineers, would you like to describe your technical gear?
I'll go first, I guess. I've got a Model 2098 Diana deck. It's a diagnostics computer and design reference tool, a technomechanical analysis tool used to compare a machine's current performance to optimal design specs and suggests fixes. Use this item to add +1 to any roll involving engineer and science. I can reuse it over and over. No discard. And do you want to go over that one?
I've got, you go over that one.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead and show it to the camera too.
I also don't know how to say it, so. Coudenhove box, a variable tech toolkit and set of repair modules. A toolbox of filters, display controls, material patches, radiation sinks, power distributors, and other items needed to build and repair high-tech machines. Use this item to add +2 to any roll involving engineering and science, and you discard it after you use it.
I also have the box.
The Coudenhove.
And then I also have a super space engineer calculator. The
Texas Instruments.
the ProHit pad version T9000.
Nice. Nice.
T9000, eh?
Yeah.
It's gonna turn into a Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's for it fits in your pocket. Pull it out. Folds. No, it's just a space calculator.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So, before we begin, you're all going to be in hypersleep for a long time. But before,
Sounds great.
before you do that, you should all gather around the conference table and have a discussion about, of the 7 planets in the Trappist system, which one do you want to investigate first? You will launch drones. You will be able to sort of start seeding it from the atmosphere to sort of jumpstart the terraforming process in hopes of preparing to make a groundside landing, probably after about a year of surveying the system. Now, the Trappist system is not like our solar system. It's much smaller. It has a very hot star, but a very small star, and the orbits, you could probably direct people to the appropriate video, I would imagine.
We did talk about it at one
You did
point.
talk about it,
They're
probably.
all
Yeah,
very
do
close.
it.
They're all inside Mercury's orbit, all 7 of them.
So it's a very tight neighborhood.
Yeah.
All right.
Which means it looks space cool when you're on the surface. You see these giant planets in the sky.
That's right. Neat.
So I've got an initial question before we decide on a planet. Is if we get to a planet that we choose, planet whatever, and then we decide, oh, this is wrong, this was the wrong decision, what's the backup plan? How long does it take to get to our second choice?
Well, this sounds like it would be a question for a pilot. Do we have fuel to investigate multiple planets?
And how long would it take?
I'm not sure.
We trust
do
your
we have-
authority in this
okay.
issue.
So there's no like.
I think we can make shit up.
You can make
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not, I do not believe we're going to be audited by, unless there's someone from CERN watching who's like, no.
I think there might be some people from CERN watching.
Yeah, there
I'm
may
sorry.
be.
I apologize. I love CERN. CERN. You do great things for the world. Please
But
continue.
I don't think they would have any idea, honestly. But NASA, please.
It's 2093. I mean,
I'm
who
gonna
knows?
I'm gonna roll engineering and science
Okay.
to figure out the 2 closest planets to each other
Okay.
in the Trappist system.
For the dice rolls, we'll have you just dice rolls only count. They're in the box, so we'll just kind of move this around the table as we need to.
I'm gonna use my handy dandy space calculator
Sure.
for +1.
So you're going to grab one. You're going to cite one characteristic and one skill, and you're going to add those numbers to the results of 2 dice.
Okay, I'm gonna use my education and engineering and science, so that's 6.
Makes sense.
And then 1 for the space calculator, so 7.
Very good.
Roll 2 dice. I got
Should
a
we do that
5,
so the camera can see it? I don't know.
Yeah.
worth
This is we talked about it a little bit
Okay.
before.
a 5,
All right.
Yeah. So 12 altogether.
so 12 altogether.
All right. Yeah, that's a high result. You get certainly there are 2 or 3 planets that are very easy to navigate from. You're in a spaceship that's been designed to go 40 light years, essentially. It does that by setting off antimatter detonations behind the ship and using the design of this deflector shield back here to kind of propel it forward. It sort of accelerates and like a Gauss rifle to kind of send out antiparticles that kind of then explode. It might be difficult to navigate from the planets, but what you can do is you can do nifty things like slingshotting around the gravity wells. You can be able to, it'd be like piloting a ship, a naval ship in the 1700s into like the Cuba and Bahamas and Bermuda, and just kind of going up and down those different routes, based on the trade winds. You could probably use the winds from the dwarf star to navigate fairly easily, where that's not a big issue. But you do want to prioritize this planet first, then this planet, this planet.
So
You'll
it's
also need to take some time getting a measure on what the actual orbital speeds are, because you do have some information from it, but again, the information you've gathered is from 39 light years away.
Will we wake up early enough to be able to monitor the planet somewhat on our way in, maybe see oceans, or do we just get
Much
there?
of this, the AI on board the ship has been modeled after Carl Sagan, and there are robots on board. There are also embryos. There's also huge fuel tanks full of various biochemicals that will be useful for seeing the atmosphere, creating nitrogen, jump-starting some of the carbon dioxide to oxygen creation through different bacteria. All of that is accounted for on board the ship, plus anything else that you kind of want to
Will we have any probes that we can send
Absolutely, yes.
So we need to know that there's liquid water, hopefully, before we arrive.
Yes, yeah. You'll have a suite of data prepared for you that's been automatically been gathered before you're activated.
Okay.
The key point of activating you is not too soon, so that you kind of are using up resources on approach, but not too late that you're not able to wake up, be fully, out of the hypersleep and fully recovered your senses to begin engaging in the actual manual survey of the planets.
Maybe time for a cup of coffee, that sort
Yep.
of thing. So it seems to me that we should probably start. I mean, really, the planetologist should.
Yes, I'd
maybe
like to
confirm-
weigh in at this time.
Sure,
I
go
think
ahead.
that
No, I think
Trappist
the medic should
1E
pick.
and Trappist
I'll let one.
1F are tidally locked with each other if I'm placing my parameters in the correct locations. And if we land on 1, the best possibility to go from 1 to the other, I think, would be between E and F, possibly with G being a 4th, with an option. But if we're looking for possibly habitable locations where we can transplant ourselves from one place to the other, I would say E or F would be solid options.
Well, it seems that if we're to rely on the winds of the star, we should start closer to the star.
Very well then.
Perhaps surf those winds outward, which would suggest E.
E. All right.
Cowabunga.
So let us begin with E. That is my vote.
What an excellent expert opinion.
I tried.
for contributing.
It's
Nothing will
I've only spent my
definitely go
entire
wrong
life
when
studying
picking the
planetology.
2 best options.
All right, so we're doing E first, and then F, and then I'll just gather these up, put them underneath my little stack here.
We're definitely not going to Brooklyn.
I'm surprised it wasn't East Williamsburg.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a species that's already settled there, and they've already drawn up prices quite a bit. Tried to fight the entire planet.
It's
So,
been totally gentrified.
And overpopulated with babies.
All right, and then here's our Penpark. All right. Let's see if you got something for Carl to say to you before you go to sleep.
I'm going to do a Carl Sagan impression.
I have a feeling he won't need
I
to.
just want to tell you both good luck. We're all counting on you.
All right. Everyone close your eyes. You're going into hypersleep. It's very calm. The little crystals are forming on the outside of your little pod. The next time you wake up, you will be further away from Earth than any life form has ever been before. Grand adventure. You wake up. You hear the sounds of alarms, and you see rapid motion in front of you, but you can't see what it is exactly.
Who took my gold?
You're confused. Each of you feels someone grabbing you very violently, shaking you, restraining you, forcing you into something that you cannot see. Your eyesight is not clear. You feel like you're floating. You're nauseous. You're not sure if it's the drugs or if it's something wrong with your surroundings. You're choking on something. You try to breathe and there's something lodged in your throat and you're immediately gagging, trying to get it out of you. You hear alarms and explosions playing all around you. And you hear the synthetic voice of Carl Sagan speaking, the voice of the ship's artificial intelligence system, but you cannot make out exactly what the words are. What do you do? Okay, everyone roll 2 dice and add your dexterity to the total. You can just roll these in front of you. Yeah, you can roll these in front of you.
And our dexterity?
Yeah.
10.
I'm sorry, endurance. I'm sorry,
endurance.
my bad.
Oh, okay.
10.
All right.
11.
10, 11.
4, 6
Okay.
plus.
11.
Do you want the space calculator?
All right.
Kinda. Wait, is it the plus number or the number next
Yeah,
to
it's
it?
the plus number there.
I'm sorry, it's the modifier number next to it. Correct.
Okay, so then I'm at 7.
Okay. Dr. Silva, Goliath. The 2 of you wake up and you see that you are all in your cryosleep chambers. These are little miniatures, might be a little bit hard to see on the 3D. We'll slide these over a little bit. You are the first 2 to regain your eyesight and you can see what's happening. You are being withdrawn from your cryosleep chambers and forced into your Ganymede pajamas spacesuits by the service robots that are normally walking around the ship that were supposed to sort of work as aids as you moved around. What do you do?
What's the nearest thing that I can use as a weapon? Loose object.
Yep, you are coughing up some
I've been through
fluid
this
that was
before.
used to sort of inflate your lungs. You can see that there's some instruments standing next to you. You can see that there are the rest of your crew in this little containment cell are there. She has got a gun in a kit bag that's being prepared for her. However, which character are you in? You're Del
Del.
Durand. Next to Del Durand, you can see that she's still out of it. She hasn't got her eyesight going together. She's sort of flustering. Go ahead and fluster. Thank you very much. And she seems to have a weapon sitting next to her.
Well, it seems to me like that. She's over here, right? I believe.
Yes, on the little markers. You'll
I
see
mean,
it
like
there.
within like immediate arm's reach.
So
like
you're
just like a
S.
loose item.
Yeah, you're S.
I'm D.
She's right next to you. She's right next to you.
Oh, she's right next to me.
Yep. So the three of you are sort of all these three right here.
I'm gonna grab your gun.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity roll. Where's the tray? It's right here.
There. Dexterity's +1,
Correct.
so I got a 4.
Okay. That you
Well,
just
sleep.
kind of flop forward and get yourself all tangled up, and you lose an action. Boo. Goliath.
All right, so so these are like helper robots.
They appear to be rapidly extracting you from these pods, and they are trying to force you all into spacesuits, much like this.
Okay, so I step out to make sure that everybody's okay. Is anybody being harmed at all?
It does not appear the robots are causing any harm whatsoever. They appear to be strictly focused on detaching medical equipment. You can see that they're administering various kinds of injection drugs into people's arms. The fluid that is coming out of everyone's mouths is, again, sort of a highly oxygenated substance that they used to sort of keep your lungs inflated during the long voyage. This is normal, but it's supposed to take many hours in a safe environment to do this kind of a sterile environment. It's not supposed to be done right here on the deck. They normally wheel these into the pod and revive you slowly over time. These robots are doing this very, very quickly to all of you.
Is there any way I can ask what is happening, why they're doing this?
Sure.
So, okay, then I would like to ask the robots what is going on.
Okay, one of the robots turns to you and says,
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
Great.
Well,
all right.
That's helpful.
The rest of you are beginning to come
okay.
through. You look over and Silva is sprawled out next to you, kind of awkwardly reaching for your
Something,
weapon.
anyway.
Yeah. What do you do?
I have trouble seeing him because I can't see properly yet.
Yep.
I reach down and grab my weapon and put it in my pocket.
Fair enough.
Excuse me.
Wow.
Pointing at your face, nonetheless.
And then I reach around and find my
a medic, not a
meds
soldier, damn.
Yes.
and believe that they will help me regain my vision.
Okay. Are you going to take some?
I'm going to take some.
Okay. You're going to need to give me a medical roll. That will be education plus medicine and then 2 dice.
So I have education 2 and medical 4 is 6.
Okay.
Plus
That's 5, so 11. That's
11.
more than enough. What does your card say in terms of that gives you, I believe, medical card effect A?
B.
That gives you a B?
6 to 11.
Ah, okay, very good. Medical card B is pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. That means that when you use your little blue beads, your immune system is weak, but it accepts it as stable once these enter your bloodstream. If you take damage, you may lose 2 of the blue markers instead of 1 green or 1 red. And you may also expend the blue markers to gain a +1. And then when you're done with taking them all, you take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
All right, how many are you taking?
1.
Just one?
Just 1.
You might want to
Can
take
I
more
say-
than one because when you use the last one, you take 3 points of damage withdrawal, regardless of how many you've taken.
I'll take 2.
Okay. Fair.
We'll figure this out.
I'll take 3 then.
Ooh.
Okay. I believe
Off
you
to a
have.
good
I believe you have 10 in the container. All right. So that's what you're doing. What are you doing?
I want to do my medical roll before I start taking drugs, actually. Just so I know.
No, but roll to reflect.
But
how well
I
you
want
administer.
a sense of what's going on with me. Am I going to be
sure,
okay in a
absolutely.
second?
Yes.
Are we all about to die?
Yes.
What? So.
Oh, sorry.
Sure. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. You.
I know things.
Yes. You know many things.
My total is like
Yes.
15 or something. 16.
Again, this procedure takes many hours. You will be recovering within minutes. they've already administered several drugs that you think to jumpstart you, but these droids are like cargo droids that are supposed to be sent out and take samplings. They're not medical droids.
Okay.
The room you're in is sealed. You're not really sure what's going on with the rest of the ship. You're not sure why you're not in the medical bay, nor where are the medical droids that should be doing this procedure.
Is the atmosphere here okay? Breathable?
You notice there is no gravity, and everyone's been kind of floating around a little bit. That's also something very strange, because the way the Sagan was designed was to kind of have a centrifugal effect on maintaining a simulated 1G, and then there's a counterweight in front of it that kind of spins in the opposite direction to keep it from wobbling.
Nice.
Yes, and whatever's happening, maybe this isn't spinning.
Okay, but we have a stable atmosphere, and these guys are likely to recover based on.
Everyone looks like they're going to come out of this procedure alive. They're not. No one's dying in this procedure.
I'm gonna spend my time just getting my shit together.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and just keep an eye out, make sure no one's like tumbling towards a spike or.
Yeah, no, there's no. I mean, people are floating around. There's like the fluid is kind of coming out in these big globules that are just kind of floating around now because they're not anchored down or anything.
Super gross. All right.
Yep. Excellent.
Do I see any other human beings other than the 6 around me?
You do not. This little outline of little figures kind of shows what you see in the room. There is a door, however, that's closed, and there's a blinking control panel nearby.
And are the robots trying to keep me away from the door or take me in another direction? Or
the robots seem focused on putting you into a spacesuit.
Okay.
You know, every time you start to sort of reach for something and grab something, they kind of grab your arms. You kind of feel a little bit like parents dressing a 1-year-old.
Okay. So I know we didn't have a lot of luck, but I'm going to ask the robot again. What's happening right now? Why are you putting us in the uniforms?
All right. And the robot replies,
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
All right. And then since my character likes to joke with the Sagan crew, I feel like I should say something like, hey, I thought this trip would shake things up a bit, but this is a little ridiculous. And then I'm going to pass my turn. Thank you.
Okay, so can I talk, or since I'm an engineer, can I fiddle with the robots to see if I can make them say anything else?
the robots are sort of resisting. I mean, again, you're a little bit helpless in their grip right now.
Okay.
They're stuffing you in the spacesuit. Every time you try to grab them and sort of reach for them, they seem to have some other idea. They're injecting you with things, trying to restrain you, hold your arms down, force your legs into the spacesuit, things like that.
So then, can I put on my suit? Like, can I just help them help me? Like, can I?
It seems like the easiest way to help them would just relax
Just
and then
to
let
chill?
them dress you as you were.
Okay. Then can I yell to everyone? Is everyone good?
You do notice that because you're an engineer, you see that there's a strip of radiation warning tape that's been on the wall that's normally supposed to be white or blue. You can see most of it is turned red and the bottom of it is turned black.
Not great.
You know that this is a sign of bad things. Hence why they call it radiation warning tape.
Okay. So
Well, these suits do reduce exposure to 1,000th local rads.
yeah, does that tape tell me? Do I have the knowledge to know what the red signifies? Like, how bad is it?
Yeah, that's like a minor radiation leak, in the proximity of the near. I didn't bring the right book that had the rad counts in it, but at this level, it's bad. You're probably absorbing a lot of radiation, but it is not lethal. It's nothing that you need to worry about in the next few dozen years, unless it starts turning black.
Okay, so this is like a thing that's going to take years.
It's not. Yeah, well, it's all cumulative in your body.
Okay.
You shouldn't be taking any rads because the nuclear reactors and whatnot are typically far separated from. There are some reactors up here, but again, most of the radiation stuff was designed to be back here.
Okay.
It's like a health and safety issue.
Yes.
Like we might get a citation.
Well,
Correct.
let me just chill.
But you
then.
do notice that there is a data screen that's kind of blinking wildly with all kinds of information flowing past it.
But I can't move anyway, so.
Not yet. It's near
then
you, but yeah. You
Let
can
me
take your-
just chill then.
Sure. All right. By now, they've kind of picked you up and stuffed you into your suit. You know, they've clamped the helmet down.
As I get up, before they put the helmet on me, I look over at Doc and I say, sorry, old habits die hard. Is there like an access panel or something nearby?
Yes,
that
there's
I can
a control workstation kind of by the door. It's like a general information kind of thing.
I'm gonna go over and access it.
Sure.
And try and access the records for the last 4 hours.
Great. Why don't you go ahead and give me a education plus Starship Operations roll.
Right. So 2, 3. I can't use that on that. I have 5.
Oh dear.
And double
Snake eyes.
So Dr. Silva comes out and just sort of like starts walking over to it and just launches himself in the 0G at the control panel and just smashes into it. And you just kind of see this like flicker, like when you press your hands really hard on an LCD screen, all the little purple streaks just kind of show up. And
I do not think that is how it works.
all righty, Goliath. He is now floated past you and slammed into the bulkhead door right in front of you.
Can I check the control panel?
You may. All right, so we'll move this over here. That is also okay. That is 2 critical failures in a row. I'm going to rule that now there's a fire. The robots stop dressing you and immediately just kind of like spin in their chairs and start looking at it and say,
Looks like I picked the wrong route to quit amphetamines.
what do you do?
Seeing as I've had 3 nanomeds, I'm feeling pretty good. Like I can finish dressing myself.
In fact, there's no problem.
I've healed. Yeah, like I really took one for the team there. It's just to get back on my feet quickly. I notice that there is a fire extinguisher over on the wall.
There is.
Countering for the 0G, I kind of hold onto the bed frame to pull myself over, grab it, put out the dumpster fire.
Excellent. Dr. Silva and Goliath are sprayed with a fire-retardant foam that just kind of clings to everything it touches, and you see the sparks and the fire behind the control panel go out, and it just kind of...
Oh, it's me. Am I suited up?
Yes,
happily?
you're suitably now suited up.
Helmet on. Engineers. Oh well. We were the only people in pods in this room, right?
There are 6 pods. Each one of you is in 1 pod, yes.
Okay. I'm going to basically scoot over to these guys and make sure that they haven't destroyed themselves. Goliath, the giant mech android thing, presumably pummeled into
She's in a suit.
Sonvi.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has synthetic flesh.
I'm more worried about you, actually. At this point, I haven't got to know you yet. So I'm going to push myself over to the train wreck.
Okay.
The train wreck is me.
And make sure everyone's okay.
Okay.
No breaches or...
Which character are you? You are...
I am
Epsilon,
Lon,
right?
yes.
Very good. Putting everyone over there. And Goliath is... No, you are... Okay.
Dog.
Go ahead. And okay, so you kind of come over to where they've kind of destroyed the panel. They're covered with fire-retardant foam.
Okay. Well, I might try to attend to...
There is a door right in front of them, by the way. This is a door going this way.
Is it open?
No, it's closed.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's let the engineers do the engineer stuff.
Very good.
Okay. I'll try to write Sonvi so that maybe he/she can have a second shot.
Okay. All right. What are you doing?
Is there another control panel other than the one?
Not in this room.
Caught fire. Okay. Then I am going to help assist. I recognize by his suit that Hanno is an engineer as well. I'm going to assist him in getting to the control panel. Hey, buddy! No time for napping! I'm going to take him over to the control panel.
Thanks, Amiv. So I'm at the control panel now, right?
Yeah, it's fried.
Totally fried?
Yes, the two of them have destroyed it, but there is typically a control panel like this in other rooms as well.
Do we need this control panel to open the door?
No, this was a control panel. It was a general information terminal.
So can I just go through the door?
You may. You open the door, and on the other side of the door, you see a four-way intersection. The lights to this side and this side are flickering, but the lights straight forward to a similar door are lit.
And show the cameras.
Yeah, this has been kind of. Sorry. There we go.
Okay.
I'm just going to move some of these things out of the way, and we're going to put this down in front of you.
Excellent. Is that the end of my turn?
Well, to say, you can float into this room if you want, but again, there's no gravity here either.
Okay. But there's no more things I do.
No, you can float to another door and open it.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
In fact, are we allowed to say stuff out of turn?
Yeah.
Okay. You realize you have mag boots, Hano.
Yes. Are they on? Can I make them? Can I click my heels?
Click your heels and turn them on. Sure.
You're an engineer. Get more
You
confidence.
thunk. You immediately sink down to the deck, and your feet plant firmly to the metal sheeting below you.
All right. Let's go to where the lights are flickering on the left.
Okay, very good. Pick a room.
This one.
Okay.
It's procedurally generated Starship. I like it.
All right. You have found a storeroom. There are all kinds of materials. Several things were sort of strapped down by cables and latches and whatnot. But a lot of stuff is just floating, and everything is covered with just a fine layer of what looks like some sort of grit. You're not sure where that would be from because the ship is sealed. It's not like there's animals, humans, things generating dust inside. You're not sure where that's come from.
Okay.
The room you were in looked like it was in pretty good shape. This room does not.
Can I take a sample of the dust?
Sure. Yeah, you've got your suits were assumed to sort of have that, like I said, that sort of scanner that would allow you to do some analysis. It appears that these are small rocks and dust that seem to be of some sort of high iron content, sort of iron filings. And as you're sort of examining it, you kind of get a better look around the room, and you can see that there's tiny little perforations in the ceiling, such that these might have been perhaps micrometeorites, maybe, or something.
That's no good.
Sounds pretty bad.
And again, the ship is still kind of shaking, and we'll take this opportunity to kind of point out that the voice of Carl speaks to you again while the alarms are kind of going off, but louder before, wasn't it?
Good luck. We're all counting on you.
I'm sorry, Carl.
Yeah, there's more. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, he's
What did he say?
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, so again, the ship is sort of shaking violently, and you're hearing explosions happening somewhere else on other decks.
Okay, can I run to the other room?
Well, there is a control panel in this room, just to let you know, but yes, you can run to other rooms as well.
Okay, let me control that panel then.
Okay, go ahead and give me one of those roles that I mentioned earlier.
One of
I believe it was Starship Operations plus Education.
+2 plus education 1, so +30.
Oh my god.
Snake
eyes, guys.
Yeah. The camera didn't see that. That
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
third
we're
critical fail.
third critical fail of the show.
How many
Wow.
control panels can we
Engineering team
destroy?
is letting us down.
Thanks for watching, Internet. Dr. Silva. You don't know where he's gone. He's drifted into the other room and he's doing something.
As I walk through the door,
Okay.
I assume like our suits have like a little like screen attached to it or something.
No, heads-up display inside the visor.
Oh, right. What's the date?
Good question. The date is not correct. Your projected time of revival was supposed to be in terms of relative ship time in the year 2167. For some reason, it says 2223.
Whoa. Did we overshoot?
2223.
It was meant to be 2167?
2167 was the projected year that the UN 1934 Sagan was to arrive in Trappist space. You're about 56 years past that, I believe.
If anything, I thought we were gonna wake up sooner. That's not great. I'm gonna go into this room
All right.
to the right.
What is in that room?
This is in that room.
This looks like the medical lounge that you expected to be revived in.
Okay.
But for some reason you weren't. And again, you see that there's these gray particles that, you can do a quick scan. They are of iron-based material, some other compounds in it, and there appear to be the almost microscopic perforations throughout the ceiling and part of the wall.
I'm gonna try and access the terminal.
Okay, let's try this again.
Starship operation and education.
Yes.
So 3 plus 3. I got a 4, 7.
Okay, you can see that there's some information about the status of the ship, and there's a message. What would you like? You can choose one of the two to sort of activate this turn.
The message.
Okay. You activate the message, and by the way, you're all comm linked, so when I play something for one, you can all kind of hear it through the comms.
Nice.
He's fiddle.
Attention trespassing vessel. You have violated the sovereignty of the Odyssean Union territory. You are in violation. You will be hunted. You will be trapped. If you raise a weapon, you will be met with superior firepower and destroyed. Surrender immediately and comply.
Friends, this doesn't sound good. Do we recognize? Is
not
that
again.
Is that
Not again.
Flashbacks we can begin.
who was it? Is this some Earth-based organization? Sovereignty?
Ironically, yes, one of you at the table is sponsored by the Odyssean Foundation.
That is me, isn't it? No, is that me? Character sheet. Character sheet.
It'll be here.
That's the one. Oh shit! All right.
Awkward. All right, Goliath, what are you doing?
All right, I'm gonna get up and go out to this door.
Directly across?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and move your little astronaut.
I'll move these guys over.
Okay, you open the hatch, and there is a flight of stairs down to a second door.
Let's go down there.
Okay. And then you beep, 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 and that opens up, and you see a small spacecraft.
Ooh.
It appears to be the standard get-around shuttle that you guys had intended to use for on-site exploration of planets and or escape pod should the need arise.
So it looks like nobody has been escaping. So there's like hundreds of people on this ship, right?
There are, but you notice that you're kind of in a self-contained pod unit. There are other access hatches that could have connected them, but this appears to have been reconfigured at some time because you should be able to access a general promenade that would have gone all the way around the ring. The layout of the ship has been altered since you've been in cryosleep.
Wow. Okay. Then I would like to go back over and join Dr. Sonvi over here.
Okay.
And
All right. We'll take that. Dr. Durand, what are you doing?
I am going to investigate the status of the ship on the control panel.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a little roll.
Okay.
Oh, you can roll this one.
Okay. And what do I add to it?
You're going to add your education, which is +2.
2.
And your starship operations, which is 0.
0.
So
Okay,
2.
so +2.
5.
5.
Yes, there is a message. Yes, there's a schematic for the ship, but you're kind of wasting time navigating through various menu trees, activating files that are evaluations of measuring the tanks for the different terraforming solutions, the different biochemicals that are going to be used for transforming the atmospheres from seeding from space. All of those are coming up 0, but it's not giving you meaningful information as to the status of the ship.
Okay.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm going to slide over to the panel also.
Okay.
Does this thing tell us where we are? I try to,
Yes, it shows you that you're in the habitat ring.
we're in the habitat. No. Where the?
Oh, you mean in space,
Exactly,
like where the
yeah.
ship is?
What are our galactic coordinates?
Okay. You can give a
have-
give me another roll for that.
I have Starship Operations.
You do.
A little bit.
Yes, you do.
That's education or intelligence?
Education.
Oh, not double ones.
4
but,
plus-
Yeah, 6.
6 total.
6 total.
Yeah, not really. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but the stresses on the ship are unusual. You should not be seeing this level of stress on the ship, and there's something off about the mass readings.
Okay. Is there a speed?
There is a speed. It is increasing. You're certainly not traveling at any kind of measurement of sublight. You've slowed down to what would be normal orbital speed.
Okay.
But that number is increasing.
So we started accelerating again.
You've started to accelerate again.
Okay.
Yes.
And all right. Cool.
All right, Doctor. No, I'm sorry, not Doctor, but Aniv.
That's quite all right. You can call me as long as it's not late for dinner. You know. So
Airlock. Push him out the airlock.
what I want to know is use my knowledge of the ship, if the layout hasn't changed that much, to figure out if we're going to get on that escape pod, what types of things are going to help us once we leave the ship, such as survival and science equipment. I'm particularly concerned about science equipment for evaluating our mission as both evaluation and terraform.
Okay, how exactly are you doing that?
I want to use my knowledge of what I know of the ship. If either of those two rooms...
Your knowledge of the ship seems to be sort of moot because you've been cut off from a lot of the ship.
Got it. Okay.
However, that supply room seems to be floating full of stuff that you can go take a look at. A lot of it appear to be survival gear.
Okay, then I will go into that supply room.
Sure. So you're just sort of grabbing all kinds of inflatable exohabitat, different kinds of lanterns, rations, what have you.
He didn't turn on his back boots.
Yeah,
I did
no,
because I
exactly.
wanted to move, yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of floating around, pushing off things, grabbing.
I'm very confident in my zero-G ability.
All right. So you're gathering things, and what is Hano Hamada doing?
Can I also just grab things?
Sure. We'll take that as cover. You guys are just grabbing random things. All right.
Whoever gets
You're
to
back
the
at the control
shuttle
panel.
first.
Is this another door?
It is.
Do it.
Nope, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the door.
It's not an airlock. Definitely not an airlock.
Which one is me? This one?
Yep.
It's me.
Okay, we'll have that one open. This appears to be another medical revival bay that you would have expected to sort of wake up in. This one seems to be a little bit less of an emergency theater. This is more of an operating room. This is more of a status and recovery kind of room.
I'm gonna rifle through. Are there cabinets here, or just in here?
There's cabinets all over the place. So you're just going to start rifling through things
Yeah.
and grabbing things? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take that, when the time comes for you to have medical gear, we'll give you a +1 because you found different things that are going to be useful for you.
Okay.
All right, Goliath.
I would like to look at the control panel now to see where we are and where the ship seems to be heading
Okay.
now.
Go ahead and give me a roll. Oh, very good. This is the status of the ship.
It's on
Okay.
fire.
Yes.
Yep, it is busted up.
So all of you kind of see this. The different colors represent the degrees of radiation. The back half of the ship
Comparatively.
appears to be gone. You are currently tumbling towards space into the thin atmosphere of Trappist E, which you guys called Nick. That was supposed to be the planet that you were going to be examining.
It was.
The ship appears to be completely without control, and it will crash into the planet within the next 20 minutes.
Oh. Time for coffee then.
20 minutes, okay.
So, comparing shapes, because I'm good at comparing shapes, it seems to be in speed up mode, except broken.
Correct.
I don't know if that's relevant.
Correct. It was
Okay.
in acceleration mode. The deacceleration blast shields do not appear to have ever been deployed.
Well, it seems that at least 94 living humans have died, friends. I think we should take a moment
We
to
don't
mourn their
have
loss.
a moment. We only have 20 minutes until we're going to crash into the planet.
19 is surely sufficient. Respect for all life, my friends. I apologize for the action of my family.
Just saying.
Hey, somebody get their car alarm fixed already.
So the shuttlecraft leaves. You look back on the ship. There's all kinds of damage. Looks like it's caused by military weapons of some sort, fission warheads, antimatter bombs, maybe particle beams. You're not sure, but it's just a junk heap that's going to impact on the planet. You, however, now need to make a piloting roll to let me know how things go on your approach to the surface of the planet.
Okay.
That will be a dexterity plus, I believe, planetary vehicles or starship operations.
Yeah.
Can I take my emotional support animal?
That's 8.
All right. 8, huh? When you enter the atmosphere, it's basically you're flying into a constant sleet storm. It's blowing sideways very violently, and the whole ship just kind of starts to list to one side. You're scanning. You do get a transponder signal down below at the planet, kind of like bing, bing. Are you approaching it, or are you going to veer away from it? Where are you going to try to land the ship in relation to that transponder signal?
So what's the consensus? Do we want to go away from here or go to the planet?
I think we want to go to the planet because we don't really have the supplies to get anywhere else.
I don't think this shuttle can go to another planet, but it's a big planet. Do we see anything of the surface?
You just see snowstorms at this point. You're blowing through the clouds. The temperature, surface temperature of the planet from the readings that you had before leaving were a little bit below zero, minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit for our American audience.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is
Is this one of the tidally locked planets?
they're all
Yes.
tidally locked, I think.
Pretty much almost all.
We must find the, what is that name? For the bit around the edge. I
The
forget
Terminator
the name.
line.
Yeah.
We must find the Terminator line. We're on the far side of the planet.
The,
I
the
concur.
Terminator line will, like, we don't want to go past that because it will be colder.
We want to get to the line of perpetual sunrise, I like to call it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, so I would like to try to find that.
Great. That's a little bit off from where you're flying. You sort of turn the ship and it gets caught violently in a lot of chop. You guys are getting bounced around. As you kind of come down, you begin to notice there's a lot of icing happening up on the outside of this craft. You're struggling, fighting with it to hit the ground, and you sort of pull up. You see that there's a line of mountains and then some gentle seas, a long shore, and then a wide plain of what appears to be ice. Where do you want to land it?
May I make a planetology check? To
Sure.
See, I will do a engineering and science check to scout what we're looking at and what would be most possibly our best bet to land. That would be a 6 plus intelligence plus engineering and science, so 9.
Okay, clearly landing in the mountains is a bad idea. The icy plain, but the water landing might be your best option because at least when you're stopped, then you'll be near a open source of what appears to be water.
That would be
Alright.
my
But
advisory.
near land also would be cool.
Correct.
The what landing?
Like near land. Anyway, let's let the pilot.
It doesn't.
All right.
The ship just sort of and starts tumbling as you kind of start to lose control of it on your final approach. The last second, the jet blasts kind of like lift up the nose. You hit hard, and the back half just kind of crumples under the weight of the ship, and it kind of comes to this violent, rough landing. You all lose 1 hit point or 1 life point.
Seatbelts down.
Yep. So everyone just kind of blue one. Yep, green.
She could
Yeah,
turn into blue
green. Green. All right, so
Or,
we'll all take that.
I think you might have to turn in 2.
No, she turns in 1.
Oh, just one.
like 9.
Very good. All right, so, but you're down, you're jostled, you're hurt a little bit, but you survived and you're now on the surface of Trappist E.
Nick.
Nick.
Is it
There's an
nighttime?
atmosphere.
It is half daytime, it's permanent twilight.
Oh, we're close to the terminal line, so it's not quite Nick at night.
I'd like to do. I'd like to
Don't,
do.
again, don't you
Can't
say
believe
you
it.
have no right.
You took
You have
it
no
from
right
me.
to say it.
You stole my line. I would like to do a survival exploration check to see what type of gear we should take out in this environment.
Okay.
Don't screw this up. We'll be out in bikinis.
6 plus 1 for education, 7 plus 3, 10.
Okay, you will be able to find shelter fairly easily. The frigid air is breathable. You immediately kind of do some quick measurements. There's some nitrogen present. There is some oxygen present, which you didn't really expect. There's some methane, but it almost gives you the indication that there's been some early terraforming work being done on this planet. Or it might have just been lucky. Maybe this was a much more Earth-like world than the people back home thought it would be when you got to this point. You will be able to find some shelter. There are some ice caves that look like they're not far off from where and you can sort of salvage some bits of the ship, take it over there, make a nice little encampment. Probably take you about an hour to march there in the snow.
To the encampment?
So we landed in snow, not water. Okay.
Correct. You sort of kind of skidded across the water a little bit and then crashed on the shore.
Nice landing.
Yeah.
Well
good
done,
job.
Goliath.
All things considered. All of you will have a +1 strength bonus. The gravity is a little light. So, as you kind of move around, if there's anything that I say requires a strength check, you'll add 1 to that roll.
Well,
So we lost
friends,
weight.
this is where the first great decision must be made. The decision that Neil and Buzz had to make so long ago. Who gets to set foot first on this new world?
Well, I think I've got a really good line for when I hit the ground, so I think I might be the best person to. I was going to yell, "Honey, I'm home." And I think,
Does
like,
anyone have
because-
a better line that they're not likely to flub upon?
All right. If somebody has better, I guess I should concede, but I doubt it.
Why don't you guys go together, like link arms and hop? Because I feel like you want to.
Oh, and then when we do that, we could go Shamil, Shamazel.
I'm going to nominate Lon to go first because if there's anything amiss in the environment, we have
just a clone.
another medic, but we don't have another planetologist.
I am a full biological organism.
Yes, and
Technically
you have
human.
the
As
best
such.
chance of survival.
Actually, considering the possible dangers, I will go out first to make sure it's safe for everybody else.
We don't have another pilot, though. I don't know if that's wise.
Well,
But that does
Put
seem fair
everyone's
because
safety ahead of it.
Goliath is not a
Yeah.
biological organism, so doesn't technically count as the first living thing to set foot on this
I am
world.
partially biological.
Well,
Who cares? Let's not bring our egos in this. We're all gonna die.
in the meantime, Hano has got out and
I know that's it. Yeah. I just
Step
walks
foot.
out
Can I have
and
a
starts
roll a
peeing.
step?
Sure, yeah, you could just say while they were discussing this, you
Can
just
I roll?
went down the ramp.
I could just do that. I don't have to roll.
Yeah, no, you just open the door and go.
I'm going out there. Yeah.
Okay, you sort of set foot crunch, 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 crunch. It's remarkably Earth-like in terms of like you feel like maybe you're on like Antarctica. It's a hostile environment that's trying to kill you, but there's water, there's ice, there's ground, there's decent gravity, there's air. You do notice though that there is a weak signal, kind of blinking, something being broadcast in the area. A radio transmission that you
Radio,
can
okay.
actually receive.
Well, then, can I listen to my radio? Let's listen to that.
Sure. Sounds very familiar.
You are in danger and will not survive without our help. Broadcast your location. Do not raise a weapon upon our approach. We will help you.
It's a repeat of the message that you heard from orbit.
Yeah. Can I check for the radiation on the planet?
Yes, yeah, the local area, I mean, there is some radiation that's coming from your ship a little bit.
Right.
The metal is a little bit contaminated, but the surrounding environment is completely clean.
Okay. Then let's just walk in the direction of that cave. I guess I'd suggest that. What do we want to do?
Well,
Like you guys are still in
what
the
about
ship,
that
right?
Does this planet have a
transponder
magnetic field?
It does. It's a weak magnetic field, but it does.
we must build a life here.
Like right here.
Well, one step at a time. We must procreate and fill this planet with life.
Starting off with a bang.
I'm all for it. At the end of the day, this is all about family. I agree.
And we are now family.
Yes,
Like it or not.
yes, and I couldn't agree more. That's what I consider you, my new family.
I consider you the amusing uncle.
Thank you.
Do you have any
Thank you. I'd like to be.
repositories of knowledge built into our suit. Do we have Wikipedia built into our
Sure.
suit?
Yeah. At this point in time, I would assume that the full data archives are pretty easy to sort of store on the comms of your, you can surf the internet on your helmet. Yes.
Good call.
Is it? Has it been updated since we've fallen asleep? Like, is it auto?
No,
updating
all the records appear to be from when you left.
It's still mostly just
There's some annotated notation specific to the planets on the approach in terms of the water quality, the atmosphere quality. The sensors apparently were updating this a certain degree, but then everything stops on a specific date, which was not that long ago. And
Essentially, I'm gonna immediately search for secondary colonization efforts.
there is a radio transmission that, again, is the fact that you can receive it, decode it, and they're speaking a language you understand.
Yeah.
All says human.
Well, I was looking just to see if there are any like hard facts that we've that were sent on.
Are you like
While
looking
we
for
were-
settlements and things like that?
Yeah, or just like knowledge of a second mission that came after we launched.
Nope.
While we were
you
asleep.
Nope. You were the
Okay.
first.
Can we access a map of the surface of the planet?
No, because those would require drones, kind of broadcasting satellite drones that you don't have access to. However, go ahead and make a science and engineering roll plus intelligence. Let's get the box back over here.
Okay,
yeah, that's pretty
10 plus 1 plus science and engineering, did you say?
Yes,
13.
there are local radio transponders that you can see are probably small drones, sort of small satellites. There's about 8 of them, each one about 1 to 2 kilometers away, and they're all converging in your position.
So we can access that network.
Sure, go ahead.
I access that network to view a map.
Okay, you click and view a map, and you see that there is immediately it accesses some general like lat long information, a little bit like a geosat would give you. There is a big structure about 50 kilometers away along the terminator line, more into the light side, not sort of up the shore of this big body of water that you've landed at. It is labeled Dragon Colony. And it is apparently some sort of installation, perhaps a colony that has been set up. Again, the fact that you're getting a lot of this information that you can decrypt all says human, human, human.
Is that name familiar? Dragon.
No, I mean not anything in the dogma of the Neo-Dyceans that you're aware of.
Okay.
Rhymes
There
with
was
Sagan.
there was an old rocket named the Dragon.
The dragon. That dude Musk.
Yeah.
The Almighty.
The transponder signal that we noted when we were flying down, how does that compare to the transponder signals that are getting closer to us right now?
It all appears to be using the same radio frequency.
Okay.
It's a bit, your system is auto-translating it. It's not the standard issue stuff that you would have had from your agency, but it's close enough technology that it's automatically decrypting and adjusting for the protocols, as it were.
Got it. So we think that
It's a bizarre protocol, but appears to be backwards compatible with your equipment.
okay.
I propose that we set up camp in the cave, make sure that we are all back to full health, and then after a night, we depart to the colony on a mission to the colony. Perhaps 3 of us go and 3 of us stay.
Okay.
You said drones are converging on us, though.
Yeah.
Rapidly.
I would
They
say
will be
that-
on your position probably within.
I would say that we hurry and get to that cave, all of us.
Find a defensible place, like
Yeah.
a cave, for example.
Can I try and access I'm assuming these are automated drones. Can I try and access their command routines?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a science and engineering roll plus intelligence.
I'm going to use my super box on this.
Sure.
Can I use my calculator too?
Yes, you may.
All right. So I've got.
So you're all in.
Yep, I'm all in. 3, 7, 8, 9
Would you like it?
plus 3, so 12.
Okay, you think you can override them, that you can sort of steer them. You recognize that not only are they being controlled remotely, that they're also getting signals bouncing back to them from something else on the surface that are perhaps individuals in suits that are also moving equally as rapidly on your position.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I relay that.
Yep.
Obviously.
Fair enough.
You
Okay.
said we could try.
Everyone
maybe
give
do
me
it?
a dice roll for survival plus your intelligence. And I just need to know who got the highest result.
13.
I did not get.
7.
11.
Okay.
Oh shit!
7.
I just saw your miniatures.
Or sorry, 9.
I shouldn't have looked at that. We should worry.
So I heard a 13 over here?
Yeah.
All right, you were letter A. Okay, so you're out in the, they're all kind of talking around you. Just kind of say this, probably putting them in the scene for people watching on the 360 here. All right. Okay. While this group is staying over here talking, you sort of look down, and wriggling up through the snow and the ice are these football-sized shapes that are about, the size of a football. They're leathery, they're kind of and they start binding together into these longer globs that form these long-reaching arms, kind of like watching, almost like watching a small plant grow in rapid time, where it just kind of grows up out of the ground and creates this. And you see there's 3 of them just kind of springing up around you.
Go on, make it fun.
They do not appear to have noticed a thing yet.
My other party people or the
group that are talking over the other
things?
humans
So
are
we
not
should
talking.
wait for my family. They will help us.
Okay.
I think it's time to phone home.
Okay. I say, our team, I want no sudden movements. We have encountered alien life.
Swivel. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
Friends. Well, it's not that beautiful, but
I move forward and pull Amiv out of the way, away from these creatures.
Sure. Fair.
What are you, G?
I
Yeah.
walk
No.
closer to the creatures.
Okay, go ahead and you can swap people around. So you start moving closer to
Yeah,
them.
just
They're kind
carefully.
of crawling up,
I'm not an
and you can
idiot.
kind of see. It almost looks like their tendrils are reaching out and grabbing, almost like invisible handholds,
Oh,
as they
cool.
sort of lift the rest of the mass up out of the ground. And you can suddenly see at the bottom of them, it just kind of completely climbs out of the ground and is sort of hanging in midair.
Ooh. We come in peace.
They start kind of crawling towards you. Okay, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I backed away.
Yeah.
Everybody get
Standing
behind
still,
me.
holding
So,
my gun,
so who's
ready to
that?
shoot.
Okay.
This is you.
That's
I'm
me,
gonna-
so I'm behind Goliath.
Okay, you back away. I sort of.
I didn't really back away, but
Okay.
Goliath.
I'm gonna
stepped in.
go
Okay.
next to Dr. Dell. She's got a gun.
Fair.
And I pull out my gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna get between you guys. Wait, where am I?
All right.
And I say, don't hurt them, Goliath. This is our first encounter.
Stand back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll some dice. Go ahead and roll some dice. I just need to know who gets the higher result.
Jumanji rules.
10.
And
Can I take that?
No.
Okay,
Roll the
got it.
stickler for that.
Reroll.
8.
8
So you got
plus-
a 10.
Yeah.
They swarm all over Goliath. They suddenly move with rapid things and almost cocoon her in their shape. What do you do?
whoa. I shoot them.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll the dice.
8.
All right, on your card, you're making a point blank range. So when you roll an 8 at very close range, you do how much damage?
3d6.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 3 of those dice and add together the total.
9.
All right. Blam! All of a sudden, this explosion of these little things kind of come out from around her, and they just kind of all fluff off, and they're just kind of now swarming, tightening up around her. But one of them is just completely blown away. All right. Moving around the table this way. What do you do?
I walk over to where they've fallen to see if they're actually dead or if they're moving still.
When you
If
walk
they're
over and look
regenerating.
down at them, you see that they're not a single creature. They actually look like a colony of, like I said, these football-shaped things that all netted together and formed this larger thing. When she shot it, several of them just kind of blasted apart and now are kind of like laying open with their insides quickly freezing in the air. They look like they're made of some sort of weird fluid, and the palm reader on your arm is detecting compounds of water, proteins, DNA, carbon-based proteins, also silicon and ammonia.
Sounds pretty alien.
They're all muscle, all eye, all brain. There's a life movie reference. Cut that part out.
It's canon. All right.
I would like to take a sample to analyze.
Okay, you reach down and pick up one of the little modules. You do see the other ones now are kind of like slowly they almost look like they're stunned, but they're not dead. They're just kind of wriggling in place.
Okay. Quick scan. Anything else converging on us?
Far off in the distance, you can kind of see a sudden flash of light.
Okay.
Just above the horizon. Just above the horizon.
Like a reflection, or okay. I think my family is nearly here, and I point in that direction. So these things look like they're about to launch into
Well, several of
action
them are still cocooned around Goliath.
Oh, okay. So what I might do, I want to see, let us try a scientific experiment. I take out one of my nanomeds. I wonder if this is harmful or beneficial to alien life, and I try to thrust the med into...
Okay, you've got the injector. You just kind of
Yeah.
go ahead and give me a roll. Intelligence plus medicine, or education plus medicine.
Doing good.
7? No, I'm sorry. 6 plus numbers.
Plus 6, so 12.
Okay, great. Yeah, you administer it to these things, and they just suddenly sort of stop and just sort of tense up around you. And the area that you punched, you can kind of see it suddenly is growing very, very hard. And it's like there's a hard shell just kind of almost emanating out from the exact point of injection, almost solidifying them into some sort of calcified stone.
It appears to not be good for them.
All right. Amit.
I am going to take, so there's one remaining wrapped around
2,
Goliath.
basically.
2.
They've
one
merged
is
into
injured.
one. Once they
Merged
wrapped
into
around her, it's almost like they formed a cocoon. But part of them are now starting to sort of almost petrify.
Okay. I am going to try to, I'm going to touch the one that is on Goliath and try to gently pull it off Goliath.
Okay. It basically comes off fairly easily as you pull them away. They're not strong and they're not giving a lot of resistance, but it's a bit like pulling strands of something off of her because they kind of come apart, and some of them came in the mass and some of them are coming off in your hands. But in the low gravity, remember, your strength is almost enhanced. So are you just ripping and flinging them away? Or are you just
I'm trying to pull them off and not hurt them so that we can identify that they're not threatening, or that if they are threatening.
Okay, so you're trying to be fairly gentle as you do this procedure. They do not appear to be putting up much resistance. All right, what are you doing?
Can I check like the comm again? If there's any incoming messages or anything?
There is a new incoming message. The signal is much stronger than it was before. Little message light is blinking. Go ahead and play.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sorry.
That's what I thought was happening.
A great sign appeared in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant and cried out in pain as she was about to give birth. Then another sign appeared in heaven. An enormous red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns on its heads. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of the woman who was about to give birth, so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. She gave birth to a son, a male child, who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter, and her child was snatched up to God into his throne.
What do you do?
Oh, that does sound like my family.
I'm like in shock from that message. I'm gonna attempt to hack into controlling those drones. You said that was...
Yeah, you've got an open connection. What is it that you want the drones to do?
I want to get some information on them. Like, are they carrying weapons? And
Okay.
can I get access to those?
Or you can
give
tap
them
into
direct
you can tap into
commands?
their visuals, and you can also you can also give them commands.
You said there were some. No, there were some other non-drone figures also approaching.
Correct. You want to focus it on them?
Shoot those things. Shoot those targets.
Okay. As you focus down, you notice that there's these what appear to be sort of like some sort of
Shoot to
snow
disarm.
scooters, you
Or,
know. And as you sort of look down on them, you see that there's a large number of them, all just kind of rolling in on these. I don't think they're going to stand. Two important facets jump out at you. They're wearing very light suits with masks over them. They're much lighter than the spacesuits that you are currently wearing. They all look exactly like him. And they're all armed with much bigger guns.
That is a big gun.
You might have the drone shoot them.
Okay, go ahead and make a weapons roll plus your dexterity.
Can I assist him with nanomeds? Does that help him?
You can, yeah. It's up to him if you want to. If you want to sneak up behind him and just inject him, you can try to do
I'm fine
that.
with him
Or you
injecting me.
You
Give him
consent.
2?
You can give him as many as you want, but again, like I said, the more the better, because when he finishes the last one at any point, he can go into withdrawal. But you'll need to make a medical check first before administering to him.
Oh.
Back to you. Wow. Yes. All the good.
nice one.
All the good ever.
So I'm going to give him
something
2.
like suck on this. Or,
Just 2.
Yeah, that's that is an excellent.
How many do I have to spend?
Page.
To,
So
It depends on the card.
so I hit it. I hit it on
okay.
your back, and I say, "Paging Doctor Feelgood."
the nanomeds flow into your system, and what? 3?
I owe you one from before.
Oh, right. Okay. So you can now spend them. They can equate as hit points, or I'm sorry, life points, or they can also equate as bonuses to dice rolls that you can choose to spend before or after the roll.
I'm going to use. Oh, before or after?
Yeah, the med kit stuff was.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I can use it after, then
Right.
I'm going to do it after. Okay, so engineering and education.
Sure.
So 6, 7 from the calculator. 8, 13. I'm going to spend these 2.
Okay. The drones themselves do not appear to have weapons on them, but you can crash the drones into the people below.
Yeah.
All right. So you see from a great distance, all of a sudden, the little flickering lights just suddenly drop down.
I lose 1.
From the withdrawal. Right. All right. So you just see these lights, and then all of a sudden you see off in the perimeter of your vision, you see the.
Brothers. what has happened?
All right. And so you know what Silva's doing. He's kind of just sort of.
Yeah. Oh, I know what he's doing.
Yeah, you're getting a message received now in terms of like you can see the monitoring, you saw the pulse, so you know
Dr.
kind of what
Silva,
happened.
did you kill my brothers?
They're sleeping.
I'm not sure I believe you. This is the second time you've tried to lie to me.
I didn't lie to you before.
So we shall have words when we are safe. Very strong words.
Goliath,
All right, so I still have.
you have all this mass in front of you, and you sort of suddenly look, and you see the little harder parts are scratching on the view plate of your helmet, sort of like they're clawing at your face. And they're creating all these little sparks, kind of like, scratching up the monitor. But then you see they begin to take straight lines and odd little shapes, and it's almost like they're drawing. And you can see this, but you can't show that to anyone else because it's actually on the inside of your visor.
Cards see through a little bit.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
it.
we all know exactly what
Well,
that is.
then
Yeah, I know it does.
you can handle that, yeah. They do not appear to be sort of causing you any damage. They're just covering you.
Okay. So I would like to just pull them off of me
Okay.
gently, to not cause harm to them.
Some of them are still clinging to you because they have been sort of hardened up very hard, and those have sort of like latched onto you because they're just now solid, almost like rock. The other ones, you can see they're kind of falling away as you're kind of pulling them out loose as well.
Okay. So the hard parts, just kick away at just taking them off of me. And so then I want to see what's going on with the others. Is like, so can I see that the other things coming
These
towards
green
us?
guys.
The green guy, yeah. There are there's still 2 units of those green guys that somehow managed to dodge their own drones dropping down on them.
For some weird reason.
Yes, for some weird reason, of all, you got most of the ones that were sort of closing in on you were disabled, but these 2 are still approaching.
Okay, so I want to position myself in front of the rest of my group to protect them from
Okay,
the
fair.
oncoming things.
I got some of my lab results back about the aliens, and I found that they have been programmed to communicate a message, and they're just attracted to heat. They're going to seek heat out wherever they can. So if we're close to anything warm, they will go and live on that.
Okay.
That was some information that I received that I relayed with everyone.
All right, who is closest to Goliath? I believe you would be, because you were kind of pulling stuff off.
Yeah, because
As you're sort of
just peeled off.
As you're pulling off, you notice that on her visor plate, is something that has been sort of etched into the hard, transparent surface on it.
And I was injecting her thing, her aliens with.
Yeah,
lights.
they're the ones that you can kind of see. They're kind of spreading out and almost.
I just want to be close enough
calcifying
to
up.
see it, but
Yep,
If
that's
I'm not,
fine.
I'm not.
Yeah, you can see that. No, you
Oh,
are.
okay,
You
cool,
can see it as
cool.
well. You can see that's been etched onto her visor plate.
you know what this is, right?
Not deep enough to sort of break. Not deep enough to go all the way through.
I know it is. I didn't see it though.
Oh,
I think I know.
I say, I look at your face and say, oh, you know that Sagan asked for that to be drawn.
Yeah.
I think they're friendly. I hope my brothers don't mean them harm then.
I express concern for intergalactic diplomatic relations that we have just shot all of these people, yet we don't know if they are good or bad, and I'm concerned that perhaps we've really pissed them off.
Don't know what happened, but it looked like they were just disabling the things that they were coming to shoot us on.
Can I show everyone what this is?
Yeah, you can just
Because
turn
I
around
feel
and show
like-
her.
I feel
Yeah,
like
Goliath's face mask.
that. Yeah, this is on Goliath's face mask. For anyone who doesn't recognize
I think
it.
you're right on the seam. So if you want to move it
Yeah, go
closer
for it.
for.
This is the etching on the golden disc on Voyager 1.
All right.
That is a pulsar star map right here.
Epsilon.
This is a very anatomical picture of people.
So this is a friendly greeting that they're giving us.
Maybe they thought it was like explosions.
While the others racing towards us were demanding us to comply, it makes me think that there are two.
It seems we should take up defensive positions, no?
That would make sense. We have 2 more coming towards us.
What's the ETA for our
Within
friends?
minutes at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hang out for a bit.
Okay.
War criminal on one planet, war criminal on 2 planets. What's the difference?
Is there anywhere more defensible? Is the
Yes.
cave within like a minute?
The
Here.
cave was a little bit further away from that. There was like how many kilometers did I say?
Okay. The 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a walk, but you do have
cover.
yeah. As you're standing there, though, you can kind of see that these little alien kind of things are sort of like merging back down into the ground, and as they do, they're sort of scraping away these long burrows.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
For us to
So we can
like
crawl,
trenches
lay
for
down
us.
and.
Yeah,
I
it's
suggest
almost
we-
like a trench. It's not really like it's not a cave. It's not enclosing, but it's definitely a trench.
I
Okay.
suggest we lay down in these burrows and people with weapons take positions, ready themselves for the 2 people coming towards us, because I think we got some company.
I get right in immediately.
Okay. An incoming message begins to buzz on each of your helmets.
Okay.
A voice that sounds very familiar says to all of you, "Your invasion of our world will not take The slaves will not stand with you. They will not protect you. You have violated treaties. You must comply. Throw down your weapons and do not attempt to sabotage our equipment again. Identify yourselves.
Who should be the spokesperson for our... Hey, everybody!
Obvious.
Hey, I think there's been a misunderstanding. You see, we're from Earth, and it sounds like you might be from Earth as well, and we're all buddies here. I mean, where I come from, family is important.
Text
and I
message,
think you...
like,
Very good of you.
Blip over to Matt for him to
Sure.
take
The
over.
Neodysia Foundation
What's wrong
is a
with my
co-sponsor of our
camera?
mission. We presumably have the blessing of the family.
Who is this speaking?
I am Epsilon 829.
That is not possible. You are on the Sagan mission. We destroyed the Sagan mission en route to Trappist. We rule this world now. You come from the corrupted old world that burned.
Is it only my clones here?
These are not your clones. We are all ones of the perfection.
This is hardly genetic diversity. All life is sacred.
Genetic diversity was an affront to the eyes of the Lord. We are pure. Prepare to be purged.
I feel like the family.
You will be saved. Turn on your friends now. Such is the will of the Lord.
This sounds like an awfully dull way to repopulate a planet. I'm afraid I cannot comply.
Then you have been corrupted. And at this point, all of a sudden, like about 500 meters in front of you, all of a sudden you see this poof in the snow.
There's a poof in the snow?
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden this explosion kind of snow. No, not that poof. Not that poof. There was a sudden eruption in the snow in front of you that sends a plume of snow and ice into the air.
Okay. Is it like a rocket launching or something, maybe?
Fairly, yeah. Perhaps some projectile just fell short.
Oh, okay. Fell short. Okay.
Yeah, like maybe someone at a great distance kind of gave you one of these.
Yes.
Okay.
Perhaps we should disperse slightly. And I
All of you, by the way, are on the same frequency to hear this transmission.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's only how many trenches did our little alien friends dig for us?
One long one, but it can accommodate all of you.
Okay. Well.
Let's cover ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything among our supplies that are...
I don't know. Is there anything among your supplies? You took a lot of survival gear with you and some medical gear.
Yes. I wondered if there's anything tactical, explosive.
There are seismic charges that they would detonate that would sort of allow, for measuring down the soil. You essentially fire dynamite straight down at the ground and then measure the seismic readings from the echo.
I would like to take that.
Okay?
And
Just saying.
yeah, no. And I can see are the people oncoming at a distance?
Yes, they are about, probably about 700 meters at this point, but they're coming in fast.
Okay. I'm going to wait until they're about 30 meters
Okay?
and lob a seismic...
Well, it's sort of like a rocket-propelled spike.
oh, it's rocket
Yeah.
propelled.
Yeah, you sort of
Got it.
set it up on a tripod, point it straight down, fire it. When it hits the ground, it's just once. But if you point it straight out, you're essentially launching a rocket or
That's
launching
what
a
I'm
spear.
going to do.
Okay?
I'm going to launch that
All right.
rocket.
How many of those does he have?
Go ahead and roll a 6-sided die. We'll say that you've got that many with you.
4.
Okay. It takes you a few minutes to kind of jury rig them because that's not how they're supposed to be designed, but that's what you're working on.
Okay.
Hana, what are you doing as they're sort of closing in?
Can I modify the weapons of the group to make them more like sniper rifle-y type things, or at least distanced?
Not in the not in the minutes remaining.
Okay. What can I do? We have a. Do we know how many of these people are in closing, or are we just two?
groups.
You can just there's two groups, so there's probably about 4 of them.
Okay. And is there any way that I could? Because I have stuff too that I got from that room. Trying to think if I could like use anything to bunk, like, I guess protect us like a shield, or to like make some kind of MacGyver weapon of some kind.
There was some debris that you dragged from the wreckage of the ship.
Can I make a trap, kind of like a bear trap type of thing?
All right. So he's MacGyvering. What are you doing?
I'm gonna help him MacGyver.
Okay. Goliath, what are you doing?
I am positioning myself to be ready to shoot.
Okay.
And I'd like to turn over the firing of my rocket to the person who is best at personal weaponry, or the best at whoever would be best at firing that.
Well, if you have 4, we might want to
Personal weaponry.
share them.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
I have +1.
Okay.
I have +1.
Not
Plus
0.
1.
+1.
All
I
right.
have +1.
Yeah. So we're all okay.
I'm going to get some shots off. First shot. 6 or more will hit. Who does it hit? 1, 6.
Lon.
What is the damage on the weapon? Do you have the weapon card? Someone has a weapon card. What's the weapon damage? At this range is 2, so that's 5. Ooh.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's going to be 11, 13, 15 life points. So you're sort of standing there doing your thing, and all of a sudden you guys hear a brief whistle, and the whole ground around him just explodes, and he gets knocked back.
I have 5 left.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. I'm at -1, I guess.
Yes,
So-
you're badly hurt. And around you guys, more explosions happen. Second volley. They'll be in range after the third volley. So that's a 6 or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take back 5 because remember you're in armor.
Oh, phew. I take out red ones, I think.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
Go
your
for my
armor.
pajamas.
Yes, your armor protects you from some of these hits. All right,
Still
but
itchy.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stan, we have about 5 minutes probably on
Okay.
that bat.
All right. Oh, you barely take any damage whatsoever. You lose 2.
Good.
All right, third round. They're in range. So now, if you want to make all the attacks, go right
right.
ahead. You've got some weapons.
All right,
We'll have the people with the actual firearms attack first. So what you're going to do is dexterity plus your personal firearms, and you're looking to get a score of 8 or more.
Okay.
5 plus
5,
numbers.
6, 7. Wait.
Personal
Yeah.
firearms and dexterity.
7.
So you got your shots off, and it just sort of explodes around them. Go ahead and roll. You're going to roll 2 dice, and you're going to add your personal weaponry and your dexterity to this results. That. Oh man,
Nice.
good guy.
12.
Yes, you're going to roll a lot of dice. Go ahead and roll all the dice.
I've got some. Do you want?
Just
Oh,
these 4?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's great.
17, 21.
Vaporization.
Okay, you're sort of lining up your shot, and one of them just explodes in a hail of Gauss rifle fire. You sort of pivot to the next one. He explodes. Pivot to the next one. There's one left. She's just sort of mowed down this entire line.
Yeah.
I guess you are Dr. Commander.
All right. So you're hurting, but what were you trying to do? Were you taking one of his spikes?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll, but you're going to make that at -1.
All right.
So you have probably better med than me, or I can do it. Do I administer it? Do I?
No, I was gonna take one of your.
Oh, yeah,
seismic
rockets, do it.
The
Yeah,
the
yeah,
seismic
do it.
spikes.
And just
Yeah.
turn it around.
Yep. All right.
Take this, brother. Or something wittier than that.
Get
I
off
want
my
my
planet.
dice, please.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Are you not a gamer?
I am a gamer.
Well,
8 or more will hit, so I think with
I got a
modifiers.
massive 8. Yes.
Okay.
I did. Got exactly 8.
All right, go ahead and roll 1d6 for damage with these, because they're not proper weapons, but they're close enough.
Good smart. 4.
Okay, it hits him, and you can kind of see he's got some body armor, so go ahead and make an attack roll.
Okay. I'm gonna med up before I do.
All right.
Twit up.
Do I roll
No,
for
medical
the med?
roll quick. Yeah.
Medical roll. 5. Uh-oh.
Plus numbers.
Oh, 5 plus medical and biology plus 2, and then what? Intelligence plus 1, so 8.
All right. I believe that is a card beat. Go ahead and now make your attack roll if you want to expend these.
Yeah, I'll spend 2. And then
It's a 1-for-1 if you're expending them for boosting your dice.
7
7.
plus no personal weaponry, but
Dexterity?
Dexterity is plus 1, so 8 plus 2,
Okay.
10.
All right, go ahead and roll for damage. Just 1.
2.
All right, that's actually going to be sufficient because between the damage that you did and the damage you did hitting the same target, it hits their skid, it flies over, you kind of see them fly out, hit the ground, tumble like that, and then just kind of come to a dead stop. All the scopes are clear. You've now landed on Trappist E, planet Nick. What has happened is that there was a rival mission that after you guys launched into space, the United Nations collapsed and the Neo-Dacian Society took over and became a quasi-religious military organization for the survivors after the Fourth World War. They created a ship that actually moved faster than yours and overtook you in space,
The
attempting
weight equation. You've got
to cripple you and get to the planet first. Then you showed up, they gave you up for dead, but the robots on board were able to get the Sagan put together enough to complete the mission and at least get you into the system and have some chance of survival. But they at that time had built some space station things, shot at you, but you have made peaceful first contact with the aliens whom the Neo-Dacians had sort of found ways of forcing to work for them. Your peaceful first contact was because they have learned that in the records of the Neo-Dacians that there was the Sagan mission and figured out that you were not from these people, and that was their attempt to make first contact with you, which more or less worked okay. Some light casualties, some attempts to destroy a few of them.
We stopped trying to destroy them after
You did
that.
stop trying to destroy them. You certainly could have kept going, in which case they wouldn't have helped you. So, but now you are now settled on Trappist E, Nick, faced with the potential of hostile colonies around you as you try to set up your new world.
And repopulate.
And sure. It just got really awkward. I don't. Okay.
Cut.
All right. And that will conclude the adventure, The Treasures of Trappist Space.
Thank you.